Hello, brothers and sisters. Namaste. I love you all. My topic today is about seeing through deceptions of the government. Who really runs the government? Our situation right now is very intense because we're almost at the end. However, a lot of people are still deceived, and it breaks my heart. So, to see the deceptions, we have to know the truth. First of all, we have to know that we have two governments that are running the nation. The first government is a government for the people, by the people, called the United States of America Republic, which is seated by our President Barack Obama. This is a very lame power government, a facade. Yes, it's only a facade. He cannot execute any major decisions such as wars or anything that destroys the country, the people. Those major decisions are executed by the dark forces, the powerful forces of the United States federal government. A corporation. Yes, the United States federal government is a corporation. It is a quasi. Very big deception. Why in the world that the federal government is the one running the United States of America? They created the FBI, CIA, NSA, military powers created to protect them. The deception is for the people. Yes, there are good things that happen to us too. When only minor things happening, then we can rely on our forces of military, the government, because the love of the American people will always protect the American people. This federal government is losing their power, and now they are executing their last agenda. Brothers and sisters, you have to know that President Barack Obama, at first I didn't vote for him because I know something was wrong. However, when I was awakened 2 years ago, I started to know the truth, and I asked questions. Yes, he was indeed hired or was chosen by the leaders, the elites, to be the president to finish the destruction of America that was started by the Bushes, President Senior Bush and the Junior Bush, which you guys did not really see the deceptions because they are very charismatic, very good liars. I mean, same bloodline with the Piso family that wrote the Bible, so they are charismatic, Which, by the way, the Piso family was the one who wrote the Bible. They are the aristocrats way back in Rome. He was a congressman, This government, the names of our government already existed before. We only inherited this thousands of years ago. So let me go back to the president. So every president that was elected by the people and they started to sit at the White House, that's when the true leaders will show up. The man in the mirror will appear, telling that president that we are the true leaders of the world. We run the system, the government. Now, if you are the president, put yourself in his position. If you became president and then wake up your first day from sleeping at the White House with these elites, these reptilian elites surrounding you, telling you that we are the true leaders that run the system and the world, the monetary system, the religion, and this is what I want you to do. What can you do? Your life became in danger, your family lives, your ancestors, anything that's connected to you are now became like hostages if you will not obey the orders. So President Lincoln was killed because he knows the powers of these elites, the federal government. He was assassinated. Every president that sits in the White House must declare wars within 2 years or every 2 years before the 2 years expires to keep the Admiralty law that was declared by President Lincoln, because that martial law was never lifted before. So they have to declare war on something: the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, war on terror, war on drugs. Everything must be declared to keep the martial law in effect. And people, you or I didn't know about that until I had awakened. So there was an Admiralty law that they have to keep active all the time. So they have to let the president declare war on things every 2 years. And when President Barack Obama was awakened in 2010, of course the elites are angry, so they want to destroy him because he no longer can be controlled. And it's a good thing that now the president and his family are protected by the heavens armies. Before President Kennedy, he was assassinated because he wants to tell the people of the true powers of the government that is really holding hostage of our government, and he was assassinated. He was also tempted by, beautiful women, drugs, things that they could use to blackmail the president. And even though, and by the way, President Kennedy was also used at the Vietnam War, so that was his mission. And when Eisenhower talked to him about the existence of the ET here, the good ET, we are all ET anyway, by the way, we are all ET. So the good ETs appeared to Eisenhower before, told him of the secret of the humanity. And Eisenhower told the elites that the people must know of the truth of the humanity. And then he was overpowered by the powers of the Illuminati that runs the government. They said no. So they asked ET the technologies, alien technologies, and the ET said no, because these weapons are very dangerous to be in the wrong hands. However, the Greys and the Giza intelligence, ET, give that alien technology to the government, like Hitler was given by Hitler's technology was given by the Giza intelligence, and then the Greys, give this alien technologies to our government. They work with the government. And Churchill signed a treaty in USS Balboa in 1934, something like that. But go back to the president. So every president that disobeyed him gets assassinated, and there are always two or more than two shooters to assassinate the president. So President Kennedy was shot by his driver, the CIA, and it is very, very cunning because everything was erased. Bill, or his name was William Cooper, if you search for William Cooper, he showed the video footage of the assassination of President Kennedy. Bill Cooper used to work for the government, and then he found out about the dark agenda of the federal government. Same thing with Phil Snyder. He used to work for the government. He was the geologist in charge to test the soil before they dig underground bases. And then he encountered the Greys underground Dulce, Mexico. And there was a shooting there, the Greys against the military that did not know the deeper truth. So Phil Snyder started to expose the federal government, the black projects, and the budgets, the black budgets. So he was killed too. Same with Aaron Russell. Even John Todd used to be the former Illuminati member, and he started telling the secrets of the Illuminati. So he disappeared. Norman Dodd, that he started telling the truth. He was shot for a very, very long time until Norman Dodd was ready to die of old age. So he had to tell the truth of the secrets of this federal government. So every president that disobeyed them will get assassinated. And since President Barack Obama disobeyed them, they wanted to destroy him. So they used the power of the media. Like, he's a Muslim. They use the media for that. Because the media is a very, very strong weapon to change our thoughts. Because if the media bombard you with the news over and over again, it must be true. Then we started to feed from that energy. So when the media keeps telling he's a Muslim, he's an enemy, his birth certificate is false. So you use that too, and this federal government had planned in 2011, they had planned to put him on trial to impeach him for his fake birth certificate. It was already planned, and the plan was after he was on trial at the military justice. The plan was they are going to assassinate him coming out of that court. Now it didn't happen because the Heaven's armies are protecting them, the president and the family. So now they use the power of the media. So as a person not awakened, I can understand that you will feed through the false media news, saying that the president is really call him the Antichrist, all kinds of derogatory names. And watching the news, I mean, anything that the president wanted to do good, they always sabotage this. Anything. Why we had a government shutdown was a few weeks ago because President Barack Obama will not postpone in executing the Obamacare. I mean, I know a lot of people are angry with the Obamacare because you only feed from the news that this is bad, this is expensive. Whatever you do, every year the cost of insurance gets higher and higher. When President Bush was the president before, President Bush introduced the Medicare implementation, and then they said it's a good one, and then later on the seniors found out that it's really not good for them. It cost them more money and less coverage, and oh golly. Let me go back to my topic. Sorry. I started to, topics always get expanded and then another doors opens. So let me go back to our situation here, the main topic, the government. Brothers and sisters, the technology of the present government now is very, very powerful, and everything has numbers, or they abide by using, because they're black magician, they're occultists, so they always use the power of these good numbers that became bad. Everything has duality in this planet. So the 9/11, that was really the agenda. It was Bush's mission to destroy America. Shun the people, make the people in fear. They become so subservient to the government. Did they ever question the Bush evils at that time? No, the people were shut. Their mouth was shut. They thought they were protected by the Bush era, the empire. No, it was a very good trick, deceptions. So the 9/11 agenda was mission accomplished by Bush. That's why he was waving the mission accomplished flag to wave to the Queen that his mission was accomplished. And that project was called Project Omega by the Bush Daddy Sr., which was the evil, like the leaders. Oh golly. When he became president, search his records. He was CIA director. So that 9/11 was called Project Omega, and he destroyed a lot of lives in New York, and stole a lot of treasures, jewelry from his rivals. Bush Jr. was awarded $3.1 billion in Japan. He met the Queen there and the Queen's relatives. And when he was paid when the Queen cashed her check, give it to Benjamin Fulford, and then Benjamin Fulford called the Black Dragon Society Bank that it's okay to cash the check. And then when it was released, and then the Queen turned around and gave the money to Bush, which shocked the Queen's relatives. They did not expect it. So now they found out that was the reason why Bush was waving the mission accomplished. So in anger with about the paying the money to the Bushes and Cheney, they started to destroy the Queen's secret. When exposed the Queen's secret. So they told Benjamin Fulford that the Queen performs 2 human sacrifices at her Balmoral castle. So that wire was intercepted and frozen by the Interpol. So every treasures and money that they have now frozen. So the Bush, even though the Bushes are not presidents anymore, they are the ones who are controlling the White House. We have to know the dark forces that are controlling the world. In United States of America, the kingpin is the Rockefeller, or the Rockefellers. And then the tentacles of the White House that runs the White House, the Pentagon, the government, is controlled by the Bushes, senior and junior. So they control the CIA, NSA, FBI. The CIA sent troops to Syria. They call them United Nations. They are assassins. They are not good troops. These United Nations are assassins. They are missionaries. They get paid big monies. So, oh golly, it is heartbreaking. But brothers and sisters, the Bushes, why are they so evil? I found out that this information that I'm telling you is a higher realm information, because I asked the question. And it broke my heart when I found out that the 9/11 was executed and approved by the Council of Foreign Relations. So to know the people, the enemies, you have to check who are the members of the Council of Foreign Relations, members of any Knights of the Garter, Knights of Malta, Knights Templars, Knights of St. John the Baptist, all Knights, Freemasons. Check those members. Who are those members? Even President Marcos was also a Knight. Queen Elizabeth was a Knight of the Garter. This Knight of the Garter is like the royalty line. And check who are the people that were knighted by the Queen. The Bush, Cheney. Cheney was not knighted. Bush, Giuliani. Why Giuliani was knighted? Because he was the accomplice of the 9/11 agenda. Bush and Cheney, they are the spirits of these sons of Belial, sons of Satan. My information also was about Hitler and Himmler. Hitler and Himmler were the spirits, the evil souls of the sons of Belial. There are two dark brothers. The sons of Baal, means sons of Lucifer, which are the brotherhood of the snakes. The blue dragon and the red dragon, they were the ones who was hired to become our teachers on this planet, and they agreed. So they play good guys and bad guys, and they create wars, and they create good things from their evil intentions, and wars, drugs that will supplement their wealth, and however that school, or we can say this schoolhouse, was intercepted by another dark brothers that came here, that's sons of Belial, Satan, the god set in Egypt. So it became like the Third Reich. Hitler was the leader of the Tula society, Tula organization in Germany. First it was called the Germanic Order. So the Tula are occultists. So he was the leader of that group, and then in the United States of America, Roosevelt was the leader of the Freemasons. So evil against evil. I guess Roosevelt was the lesser evil, but Roosevelt was in charge of World War. So, golly, it gets so complicating. But all our presidents, they had missions to create wars. Even from the very beginning of President George Washington. Did you know that he was a Freemason? His bloodline, if you trace his bloodline was Queen Elizabeth. And the President Bush was knighted, the Knights of Bath. And I cannot find the record that George Jr. was knighted, but I know I watched it after the 9/11. Before the Queen knighted Giuliani, Bush was knighted first. Now, history repeats itself. I like to tell you the story about the Piso family, because the bloodline of that in the present are the Bush clan. I don't want to make this video very long, but brothers and sisters, the Bible was written by the Piso family. They were the aristocrats way back in Rome. He was a congressman. They assassinated Nero. They were the ones who plotted to assassinate him, but the first plot was thwarted, and the conspirators were exiled, and the Piso family, the California's Piso, and the other 13 members were forced to commit suicide. And then the young Piso Jr. was sent to Syria to be the governor of Syria. And this is why they wanted to control Syria now, because the history repeats itself. And the Philippines was hit by EMP, the electromagnetic pulse, to create a war somewhere there, because Leyte was the place where General Douglas MacArthur landed. It was a good area for supply, That is a very good area to send supplies. So this is the reason why they sent their supplies, their destroyers. Even Great Britain, Israel, they are positioning for something. They're getting ready for war. Who are they going to invade? Well, Philippines is now invaded again because of their deceptions that this typhoon struck you, we will therefore help you. But you have to understand that the enemies are Great Britain, Netherlands, Israel. The United States of America was run by the federal government. So this is the reason why the president was mum about it. He did not talk too much about the Philippines, because he had no control over the military executions, or the distractions. He had no control over that. He can only show his face as a president. Oh, I'm sorry, what happened to the Philippines? but the agenda is executed by the Bush. They are the ones they are the tentacles in the White House running the government. Of course, there are higher leaders that they have to obey, but controlling the government, it's all the bloodline. The Committee of 300, the Bush family is one of that. These 13 powerful banking families, the pure bloodlines are shapeshifters. And then the Committee of 300, they are not shapeshifters, but maybe their eyes will shift. But they still have the majority of the reptilian bloodline. The deception is so thick, and we are in that situation now. Everything it gets so intense. The earthquake in Japan, because they are occultists, they always try to wait for the planet or the solar or the solar system, like the CMA and like even the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, everything has power. They harness that power. So when the earth started shaking, that's when they get that opportunity to beam the HAARP. And this is the reason all the cooling systems in Japan did not work, because it was destroyed by HAARP technology. So that they always waited for that event. So now they will try to blame it on Mother Earth, Father Earth, anything that will going to destroy the planet or the people. They will blame it on anything, but they are the ones who execute the agenda. So these strong solar events that will occur, they will wait for that and then execute their weapons of mass destructions. The satellite communication, there are so many technology now that they can use, and very, very precise in pointing what directions to create a war. And in the Philippines, they are positioning themselves because China has been gearing with, against the Philippine government of that Scarborough Shoal Island, which is rich in oil. So the federal government want to take over that island because oil, the US dollar is backed by oil and military power. So United States government is not rich in oil, but money is backed by oil and military power. And they have been trying to control Iran and North Korea. So there is something going on, but I'm not gonna say more about that. I just want you to be aware and do not play that and what's the false media. So I want you guys to know that you have your power. Just deny those things that will occur and change it with love and your wish. What kind of world you want to live in? Would you like to live in a peaceful world with love, plenty of abundance from the planet that we're living? We will have all that prosperity, wealth, and abundance in the future, but we have to change our thoughts, because our thoughts, the collective thoughts, are being used against us. The revelations in the Bible, the apocalypse, they harness our thought power, because we are that powerful. We are all children of God. So the collective power, the majority of the collective power, controls the situations in this planet. There's a difference between the collective and the hive mind. The collective mind power is the power of God. You can be individual, but we still have power. That's the collective power. Now the hive mind are like the insects. They are connected to the hive minds, but they have no power. Just like a computer, they are connected to everything, but they have no power. So this is the difference of the hive mind and the collective minds. So everything has an opposite, good and bad, black magic versus white magic. But brothers and sisters, Barack Obama is not is not a bad guy. We have to give him the support that he needed to kick out these evil forces that have been running the White House for many, many years. And you have to be thankful that he did not declare martial law. I mean, he did not declare war on anything. So the Admiralty law, the martial law, long time ago, had lost its power. He did not declare anything. So now the citizens' power is active. We can claim a citizen's arrest and arrest those politicians, any senators. We can claim a citizen's arrest because we have our power back. And thanks to Barack Obama for that. So you have to know who are the real enemies here. Dick Cheney is one of the soul of the sons of Belial, and George Bush was one of that. These two dark brothers, sons of Belial, are in chains, Cheney and Bush bodies. If you know about, have you heard about Damien Omen before? The movie Damien Omen, that he was the son of powerful government leader. He is that person. George Bush Jr. is the Damien Omen. You have to see the deceptions and stop playing, because if you act and started gathering all this false information and feed on the internet. So what happened if we impeach Barack Obama? Who will run the United States of America? Because Barack Obama is their number one obstacle to declare war on everything. So you have to know that. I think last night they started to launch many rockets up in space. So they're preparing and positioning on something. Something is going on. But do not be scared of that, because the planet Ison is really the blue star Kachina that the natives were talking about, and they will interfere if this war about nuclear war will going to occur, because there will be nuclear war. So maybe this is the time that they will say, yeah, enough is enough, you know. So the planet Ison is a biosphere. It's a 300 miles in diameter, consists of 5,000 officers, and that's accompanied by 2 city-sized spaceships. So they are showing these elites that, hey, we are here now. If you are going to execute your last agenda, they will interfere. They are not going to let this planet be destroyed by the reptilians, because that's what happened to Maldek. Maldek was destroyed. People there were microchipped. So the warrings is not the beginning here. There was always war on many planets against the against the reptilians, because they want to conquer many planets that were used as a playground or schoolhouse or school planet for the souls that are still growing and evolving. Brothers and sisters, I love you all.